To the citizens of Baltimore why the city decided to settle with the family of Freddie Gray for $6.4 million before 6 separate criminal trials took place involving the police officers who allegedly caused Freddie Gray's death. So let's talk about this. With me now again is CNN legal analyst Paul Callan and Laura Coates. She's the former assistant U.S. attorney for the District of Columbia. So Paul, the mayor said that she wanted to assure everyone that this civil settlement was totally, completely unrelated to these criminal cases. How is that possible?
It's totally inaccurate, and it's not possible because the civil settlement here arises out of the criminal cases in the sense that the police were apprehending Freddie Gray and confining him and presumably allegedly injuring him as he was transported back to the station house. So you can't say it's unrelated, and any person looking at this is going to say the city of Baltimore has already conceded that the police did wrong. So I think it's going to affect the criminal trials.
Yeah, and it does seem, Laura, like the city of Baltimore has made up its mind, because at the end of that news conference, the mayor sent her condolences to the family of Freddie Gray.
That's absolutely right. What this sounds like is the same critique that people had of Marilyn Mosby when she said on the steps before she announced the indictment that I hear your calls for no justice, no peace. And what this Baltimore mayor is now doing is essentially pandering again and saying, listen, we'd like to make sure that we have some peace for the family, and so we're going to do something that's absolutely abnormal. We're going to offer this settlement prior to a civil lawsuit and prior to the criminal trials of 6 separate officers. Paul, Carol, you're exactly right in your thinking. It is impossible for a jury to separate the fact that a man had suffered a severed spine in police custody, and the city has decided there is liability for those officers to the tune of $6.9 million. A jury can't reconcile how to be objective on the one hand and also acknowledge that out of their own taxpayer funds and pockets, they're now being told to pay for that liability. It's a very nuanced argument that's being made, but echoes the same critique that happened for the original indictment.
And of course, the police union is absolutely furious about this, Paul. They sent out this statement yesterday. Just as Baltimore is returning to its pre-riot normalcy, this news threatens to interrupt any progress made toward restoring the relationship between the members of the Baltimore Police Department and the Baltimore city government.
Well, it does resonate in a very bad way with police officers on the street. New York, by the way, had similar problems in the past, although I've never seen a case in New York settle the way this one has, but they settle early sometimes, early in the civil process after the criminal cases are over. And police unions were complaining even then, even settling it after the criminal case, that the city was selling out police officers and not being supportive. So here, these officers are going to say, how can we get a fair trial when the mayor has already paid $6.4 million in this case? It's going to be an interesting argument, by the way, when they try to change venue and say you can't get a fair trial in this case. I'll be very interested to see those arguments.
Those hearings take place tomorrow, so we'll be following that. Paul Callan, Laura Coates, thank you so much. I appreciate your insight, as always. Still to come in the newsroom, it looks like Hillary Clinton's campaign is getting a makeover. So when it comes to politics, how much does image matter?